council meeting, and of course, exciting news announced last night out of the council meeting. Tony, I know you've been working closely on an effort of a new company that is going to move into the former Arcosa wind tower building. What's going on here? And give us maybe some of the history about this.
Okay, yeah, this is very exciting for the city of Clinton and the county of DeWitt. And this started about a month and a half ago. Michelle Durham, she's the human resource director, I believe, for this company called Meyer Utility Structures. And she met with me just asking for some help because she told me about the plans to locate there at the former Arcosa building. And she was just kind of asking for some help. How do we get started? Can you help with sending us in the right direction to find employees? So that was great that she came and connected with us. However, that building is outside the city limits. It's in the county, but that's okay. The county and the city, we work together. And I immediately after she left, got on the phone and spoke with a couple of the county board members and the mayor and Kurt Homan with DCDC, and that we planned a meeting for that next morning and invited her back in. And she updated what she told me to the rest of the group. And so that was good that she came in and talked to us. And that very next day we had a meeting, and she informed everybody what the plans are and time frames. And we got delayed a little bit. We've been delayed about a month on this. They wanted to have this announced before now, but they had some legal issues that they had to get worked out before they made the announcement. So,
Sure.
But this is a joint effort between DCDC, the city of Clinton, and the county of DeWitt, and we worked very hard to get them here, and now we're ready to be here to support them for whatever they need. And I think that the very first thing is staffing. One of the representatives here last night told me that they're in the process of hiring a plant manager, and they're doing some interviews now. So hopefully they get that position filled and move forward, and we'll be here on the sidelines to help out wherever we're needed. But it's very exciting for both the city and the county as to what's going on. We first announced Quick Wall and now this company, and we've got some other things in the works that we can't really announce right now, but good things are happening for the city of Clinton, and we're very excited about it.
For sure. Well, Mrs. Mayor, let's get your reaction to this.
Well, I think that when good people do good stuff and come together, this is exactly what happens. And that's what happened with this woman walking in the door, with Michelle walking in and saying, hey, we want to do this. And the next day, 10 people were at a table saying, how can we help you do this? What does this look like? What do you need from us? And what, quite frankly, is a benefit to the city and the county and the folks who live here. So we are super excited about having them get up and running, just as we are with Quick Wall. There is a little update, Tony. I don't know if I told you this with Quick Wall. They have actually, I was told this week, they have some folks they've hired that they're training now in Springfield, and they're teaching them about the equipment they'll use here and how to tear it apart and put it back together over here. So they're already moving forward with training some new staff from here, so that when they're up and running, they're good to go. So like Myers, I think it's going to be a quick thing. I think they're going to we're going to stand around, and then they're going to be hiring and up and running.
Well, and Tony, you can speak more to this probably, but I know that Arcosa and Meyer, like Arcosa is the parent company of Meyer. So when Arcosa left that facility, they didn't relinquish it or sell it or anything like that. And they've been working to put it together for just this operation, correct?
Yeah, I was told this has been going on. We knew nothing about it, but this has been going on since they closed down Arcosa. They kept the building because they studied Clinton. They know what we've got to offer, and they need a larger number of employees, and they did their study, and they know that those employees are here somewhere in the local area. So they told me that they've been sitting on this for a little while, just trying to make, they knew they were going to use the building and make this happen. So we again knew nothing about it, but once it all came together, we were there to help them out with whatever.
For sure. And Mrs. Mayor, probably a lot of people wonder, well, why is the city of Clinton involved in this? It's outside city limits. Why is the city involved in the meetings and coordination and all of those things?
Because we do things together. Number one, we move our county and our cities together by working together again. And because Michelle came to the city, she came and talked to Tony. And the first thing Tony did was involve the county and DCDC, and a county board member, I believe, was at that meeting. So she wandered in the door to the city, and Tony immediately involved the county.
Mm-hmm.
And then the county and the city worked together, as well as with DCDC. So that's how the city's involvement.
Mm-hmm. What will the jobs number look like, Tony, when this is all said and done?
I noticed last night he said 100 plus new jobs starting out. Now, I believe Michelle's number of jobs was a little bit higher than that, but I think what they wanted to be safe in their numbers and not inflate those numbers. Basically 100 plus, I'm taking that to start out with.
Sure.
A lot of those jobs are going to be, welders, welding inspectors, those type of things. I did view a video early this morning on their operation, and I don't think we mentioned it, but Myers Utility Structures, they build utility poles, like steel poles that you see on the side of the road with the high transmission power line. So that's what they do. So, steel, there's a lot of welding involved in that. And I did see they also make concrete as well. And I'm not sure they're going to have the concrete operation here. There's a lot of it we don't know yet, but 100 plus jobs. And that's the part that we're very excited about.
Very good. So that's coming to Clinton, and I know they've kind of done some renovating of their front entrance and stuff like that, and what it's going to look like. Should be really, really nice kind of corporate look out front from what they saw last night. And with the and either of you can chime in on this, but with the advancement of the electric grid in the country, we're seeing those wood poles get replaced with the metal and all those things across just even central Illinois. This is going on across the country as well. So this is kind of a lot of viability in what they're bringing to town. It seems like, from what I can tell, at least. So I
think it's long term, and she made that very clear on our first meeting with her. Is this isn't a year or two project. They're going to come and they're going to build these for a very, very long time, because the need is not going away, as you said, with the grid and the expansion and the increase in usage.
Yeah, for sure. So exciting stuff. And like you said, Tony, I know this has been a while in the works, but it's good to have it done and start moving forward. And, I'm sure we'll look out for those job fairs that you talked about and those things moving forward. Again, in studio with us today is Clinton City Administrator Tony Harris and Mayor Helen Michelassi as we follow up the Tuesday night Clinton City Council meeting. Let's see, Tony, from your perspective, anything out of last night of note? Let me pull up my agenda, maybe be a little more prepared here for this morning. But anything else going on from last night you want to talk about?
Yeah, I've been working with a local business owner up on the square. We had some challenges there. He's planning to build a restaurant in the old Spurgeon's building, and he had some issues there with the placement of some equipment. So we've been working with him, and that's what the encroachment is, on some equipment to place on the building. But I wanted to give a shout out to him, Mr. Singh. He's doing some good work up there and renovating buildings, and that's exciting as well to see what's going up on the square. And we've had some meetings too. We can't say a whole lot, but there's some plans on the square too, and maybe with some investments and things like that to for more businesses and just make it look better on the square with some of those old buildings. So that's in the work too. We're working on that.
You're really teasing us here today, Tony. This isn't fair.
I know, and I probably shouldn't bring it up this early, but there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes that we're doing, and in the future, I think it's going to show.
Well, and I'll tell you, you talked about working with Kurt Homan. at DCDC for this for Meyer, the utility company. This is where economic development happens. Like it's behind the scenes. So much of it you can't talk about, and really it's just under the radar. It's confidential conversation, and then all of a sudden it happens, and you think, well, gosh, it just happened, right? But there's foundational things that go into it. Speak to that, Tony, because I know you've been working on this for a while.
Yeah, let me speak about DCDC. I don't know the history with DCDC. Again, I'm new in this position, that. But I have been very pleased with the DCDC committee, all of them on the committee. They have been very supportive, and with Kurt in that position, basically the city pays into it, the county pays into it, City of Farmer City pays into it, and it's a group effort that we've been talking about. And lots of times, like with this case and other cases, if I get a lead on a business coming in, I'm busy. I don't have time to follow up on a lot of that. So I just simply turn it over to Kurt Homan. And I think the county does the same. And, he does a lot of the legwork, and then we connect and work as a group. But I am very proud of that DCDC partnership that the county of DeWitt, City of Clinton, and City of Farmer City has with them. And I think that it's, the progress is showing. It's not just the City of Clinton. It's not just the county of DeWitt. It's the partnership that makes all of this happen.
Farmer City's got good things going on over there, for sure. So, yeah. And I just always go back to, whenever something like this happens, like, the comment is, well, we need more of this, we need more. And it doesn't just happen. Like there's so much that, like, I always go back to, it happens behind the scenes. It happens under the radar. So much conversation is confidential, those sorts of things. And so it's not just a, well, boom, they're here, it happened. Like it doesn't just magically appear that way. So yeah, for sure.
But we also run into some challenges too, as well, when we see,
that's
growth.
part of
we
the
see
issue,
the growth coming. But we have challenges to go along with that growth, and one is being housing, and we've been doing some work on that too.
Yeah, let's speak to that, Mrs. Mayor. How about that?
Well, I thought Tony was going to fix that, and he hasn't. So I guess I'll call you out on that, Mr. Harris. In all seriousness, there's lots of levels of housing, and we need it all. We have folks who can afford a house and finance a house. It's $100,000. And Seth, we've talked about this, and Tony and I certainly talk about it all the time. There's the next level and the next level, but where are they going to go, and where are we getting developers that are going to do that? And that is always on the radar. Tony and I know you'll need to take a break pretty soon, but Tony and I can talk about, we sort of prioritized 3 things last week on what we need to focus on. And I think housing is one of those.
Sure. Well, Mrs. Mayor, you beat me to it. I do need to take a break. So let's do that and come back and talk about that housing and, of course, the other priorities that you mentioned there. We'll take a break, come back with more. Again, Tony Harris and Mayor Helen Michelassi with the City of Clinton, our guests in studio. More to come on The Morning Show. WHOW.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guests in studio today, again, City Administrator Tony Harris and Mayor Helen Michelassi. And guys, thanks for coming out and following up the Tuesday night Clinton City Council meeting. And Mrs. Mayor, you talked with us about some priorities that the city of Clinton recently sat down and kind of just made a list of, like, this is where we're going, this is what we need to focus on. Let's highlight a few of those.
Well, we had quite the list of things that we feel like need to be accomplished, and we need to narrow that down to three. One of the first being housing.
Right.
We need housing.
We left off with that.
We also need to make some determinations about a fire station, police, and city hall. So finding locations, finding funding, figuring that out is a big priority. And also the countywide business association, getting folks invited to that. And I invite you, Seth, and we'll certainly invite other media here to be a part of that, to sort of talk about what that means.
Okay.
For our county. So we'll be inviting folks across the county to come and talk about that, as well as just within the city of Clinton, to get those associations up and running, because I think it'll make a big difference.
Sure. I wanted to go back to the housing piece, and I know I've talked with Kurt about that, just the need for housing. Tony, the city is taking steps forward with that development of Illini Drive, a few years back. You've got the Somerset extension, or what it's Park Lane West extension, I guess is what it is. But where else can the city turn for housing? What else can we do for that housing effort?
Well, DCDC, Kurt Homan and I, we've already started that process. We've traveled to meet someone that we think maybe can help us, that has some experience in investing into homes. We met with him, so we've got started on it, and we haven't made a whole lot of progress yet. But there's other things that we're looking into to go along with that, and one being, you mentioned the Park Lane West and the Illini Drive. Let me point out that none of that would even be here. It wouldn't have been possible without the TIF district. So the mayor and I and Clint from the city, we went to a conference 2 weeks ago in Chicago, and we sat through a day-long TIF training session. So we've got some good ideas with that, trying to get some TIF districts going in town, and that could.
So we need to establish more of those.
That's what the plan is right now. That's
Okay.
what's being talked about. We're going to be talking to a consultant to kind of help us out through that.
Okay.
But again, that those projects over on that the Illini Drive area, those would not even be possible without TIF.
Sure,
And
sure.
TIFs are very successful. So our plan is to do some more of that, and that can help with building subdivision, things like that. We just have to identify the area.
How does that help with those things?
Well, funding.
Okay.
I don't know a whole lot about it yet, but a TIF is you start a TIF and money starts going in that TIF fund. So I mean, you won't get a whole lot of money in there for that first couple of years, but after year 3 to year 5, then it's got some money in it, and you can start talking to investors to get some subdivisions built, things like that.
Okay.
And we're even talking about doing some residential areas in the blighted areas of Clinton, where we could possibly help with grants to repair homes, fix up homes, things like that. That we're in the very early stages of that, but that's another thing that we're definitely involved in.
Sure.
After attending that conference, trying to get something going there. So Clint and I and Helen talked about it. We think the first step is to get the TIF districts going.
Yeah,
and
sure.
we're gonna have to work with the consultant to get that
Got it.
done.
Well, we'll look forward to that as it comes about. Mrs. Mayor, I've got a few minutes yet still. Could you speak to the latest on finding a place for fire, city hall, police, all those things?
Well, since I was here last, we've sort of had some more conversations on what's needed, because until we figure out exactly how much space, we can't really estimate what it's going to cost to build, renovate, depending on where you land. There are several sites in town, if you drive around, that may have some potential. So we're just trying to narrow down and have some preliminary conversations about where could it go, where does it need to be police and city needs to be near a county building.
Mhm.
Fire needs to be in the center of town,
Mhm.
have access, not a lot of obstructions to get trucks out. So I feel like we've made some progress on just nailing down what we're going to need to have
Mhm.
and what that looks like. So then we can actually get a professional to give us some cost estimates here.
Sure.
Because, as I said, 90 days, tick-tock, it's been about 3 weeks. We need to, within 90 days, we need to have something constructive on paper, some
Right.
amounts done.
Well, you've got that timeline, so that's
Yeah.
folks are kind of hoping that comes about. Very good. Well, guys, I hate to do this to you. I got to let you go for the day. Again, Clinton Mayor Helen Michelassi, City Administrator Tony Harris, our guests in studio today as we follow up the Tuesday night Clinton City Council meeting. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Of course, we stream live online all the time at DeWittDailyNews.com. And again, check out replays of the morning show on Facebook and YouTube or at DeWittDailyNews.com. Network news comes your way next on the morning show.
WHOW.